So you want your business to show up page one on Google in Los Angeles. Well, of course you do. What a huge prize that is. Los Angeles has 4 million people. The metro has 13 million people, and Southern California has 24 million people. Los Angeles started out as a small town, but they built the Los Angeles Aqueduct over 100 years ago. And in order to get the water, all the towns around it had to join LA. And the consequence today, they are 500 square miles. There are 25 countries in the world smaller than Los Angeles. And of course, it's our second largest city in the United States. I have built, I've just counted 40 websites that rank first page in Los Angeles for this keyword or that keyword. And I'm going to show you how I do it. I can show you how you can get your website to rank page one in Google. And let me dive into an example. And I'm going to tell you in the end the 5 secrets to getting your website to rank page one in Google. I'll just give you one quick example. This is a site I built for a fellow who does protective services. He does security guard services in Los Angeles. And it has the 5 things. I'm going to show you what the 5 things are, but you can see that if you do a search, you can do it on your own computer. Security guard services, Los Angeles. Here he is on the front page. Security guard services, Los Angeles. This is a site I built. And there it is on the very first page for security guard services in Los Angeles. Well, let me tell you, if you happen to be in Los Angeles, you could be any number of places. If you are in Los Angeles, you could be in Long Beach, you could be in the Valley, you could be in Encino or Reseda or somewhere like that. You could be obviously in downtown LA or Chinatown. You could be at Venice Beach. Where's Venice Beach? Here it is. There's all sorts of places you could be. And depending on where you're sitting in Los Angeles, if you type in security guard services near me, this guy might not be on the first page. In fact, the only people who actually search for security guard services Los Angeles are people who are not physically in Los Angeles. When people search for local search terms like plumber, doctor, lawyer, painter, these are local search terms. And the way the consumers search that term online is security guard services near me. And even if they don't type in the words near me, Google gives them the near me results. And because Los Angeles is so large, and here's the secret, the results for Los Angeles don't matter as much as the results for the part of Los person is in. Now, Los Angeles County has 88 cities in it. Los Angeles is just one of the 88 cities in LA County. 400 neighborhoods that make up Los Angeles. And what you want to do is pick the part of town you want to rank for and create targeted landing pages for each one of those towns. Because if somebody in Compton searches for security, they're going to get a different result than someone just a couple towns away in Lawndale, although I don't know if Lawndale's LA or not, but it's obviously the same metro, Huntington Park. There's different parts of LA, and depending on where you're at, the results for security guard services near me will produce a different result. You can win in all of those if you create targeted landing pages. And let me give you an example of that. So here's a guy who does, and I'm sorry, there's security guard services. Here's another guy that I work for, and this guy, he offers security services. So it's a little bit different, security services than security guard services. He's got a different keyword. And this fellow wants to rank in a particular part of Los Angeles County. So if you do a search for security services in Arcadia, you can see AE protection shows up right there on the first page of Google. If you search in Cerritos, which granted is Orange County, but is California, he is on the first page here as well. Cerritos American Eagle Protective Services. If you search for security services in Compton, he is on the front page there as well. But you'll notice the city is different in each of these. These are different landing pages. Same client, Glendale, which again, that's LA County. It's not LA, but same metro. He shows up here, Glendale American Eagle Protective Services. And here he is in Malibu. And Malibu is its own town as well. It's in LA County, but it's not in Los Angeles proper. Towns and neighborhoods of LA are treated the same by Google. And if you want in a metro like Los Angeles to rank on the first page, you've got to go town by town by town, not just Los Angeles County. This fellow, this client of mine, who I've gotten to rank in all of these different cities and suburbs, is going to get a lot more traffic than this guy who merely ranks first in Los Angeles at large, because the metro is much larger than just Los Angeles itself, and because even Los Angeles, broken up into its 400 different component neighborhoods, needs to be targeted very specifically. And so let me show you exactly how you would do this in your company for whatever business you happen to own. And I'm going to show you just one more example here. This is a guy who does tile installation services. Most of my customers are contractors, although I do every kind of website. But this is a guy who, again, wants to rank in all sorts of different markets for tile installation. And he does. So here, if you do a search for tile installation, this guy's in the Valley. So he ranks page one, Joe's Tile Service in Encino. Here he ranks page one in Valencia. Here he ranks page one in Sherman Oaks, right here, Sherman Oaks. And so this guy ranks everywhere, page one for tile installation. And not everywhere. He doesn't want to show up in Long Beach. He's in the Valley. So he just goes through. Let me go back to the map here. Um, the Valley is made up of all these different towns, which all have 50 to more people in them. And we want to treat, for instance, Reseda as its own town, even though, yeah, it's a part of Los Angeles. We want to treat it like it's its own town, and we want to target it with a dedicated landing page. Then you can see some of these little quote neighborhoods have a huge population. I mean, these are really big areas in their own right. There's no way to reach consumers in Northwood Ridge or Sherman Oaks or Van Nuys with a Los Angeles page. Los Angeles, as far as Google's concerned, is a region. It's not a city. And nobody searches by region unless they're not in that region. An actual person who lives in Van Nuys is going to search for plumber near me, uh, car mechanic near me. They're going to search for the near me term. And again, even if they don't, if you happen to look for, let's say you type in accident attorney on Google and you happen to be sitting in a house in Van Nuys, based on your IP address, Google is going to give you all results in Van Nuys. They're not going to give you any results in Reseda or in Compton or any other part of LA. You're always going to get results in your neighborhood if they exist. And so that's what I did here with the tile guy. Tile installation Encino, created a landing page for Encino, created another one for Valencia, created another one for Sherman Oaks. And you can go down through. Let me zoom this out of the way. You can see all of the different keywords I created for him and all the different towns, as you see, northern towns here: Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Santa Monica. This is the area that he wants to rank. Nobody really, not nobody, but most people don't want to rank in all of LA. They want to rank within a 30-minute drive of where they're at. It can take a couple hours to cross LA County. So unless you have a company with a ton of locations, you really don't need all of LA. But if you do want all of LA, you're literally wanting to build 488 landing pages, which we can do. But let me tell you what you'll need those landing pages to have. I'm going to go through the 5 things that every website needs in order to successfully rank first page on Google. The first thing you got to have on your website is a video. Google loves video. I know it seems like, of all the things that you see on this page, why is the video the most important part? It is the most important part. A website is 53 times more likely to rank page one on Google if you put a video on the website. A website is more likely to rank page one on Google if you put a video on the website. You want to name it after your keyword and location, and it doesn't just help to get the site to rank. You also see improved conversion. People see this young lady who actually works for me, not for Joe's Tile, and she will explain what they offer, and she has a nice clean call to action at the end. The video is helpful, but it for converting to get people to trust you, but it's more important for ranking. Google loves video. And so whether you shoot a video yourself with your phone or whether you have me film a little video for you, you need to have a video on your website. If you're up against the competition in Los Angeles and you say, well, I don't want to do a video, well, just don't waste your time. You're never going to rank page one without a video on the site. The second thing you need to have on each and every page of your website is 1,000 or more words of content. And if you look at my website, it's very pretty. It doesn't have a lot of writing. It looks really clean and simple. But if you actually total it all up, because I've hidden a lot of text here in the drop downs, it is actually over 1,000 words of content. There's a saying in our business: long is strong. If you don't have a lot of content, Google will ignore your website. Now, The which thousand words, that's a big question. You need to make sure that your keyword, in this case, tile installation, you need to make sure that that keyword is repeated at least 20 times, but not more than 25 times on the page. You can't just repeat the word over and over again. You can see here I say it, but I don't say it too many times. You also want to include related words like contractor, licensed, insured, free estimate, bath, remodeling, words that you would expect to find in the context of a site that's about tile installation. It can't be just some article you pull off Wikipedia. It's got to actually have relevant related words, which in our company we call a lexicon, meaning there's sort of a setting of words that go with the word tile installation. And we want to use in a 1,000 word website, we want to use 50 of those kind of jargony words. So content is really important. Third thing, again, videos first, 1,000 words of content is second. The third thing is contextual outlinks. There's a lot online written about backlinking, and backlinking, I've got other videos that talk about this. Backlinking isn't relevant on the near me searches. When you're in a category like medical or home improvement or business services, where you're really trying to reach local customers, or local customers are trying to reach you, backlinking means nothing. Backlinking is important if you want a website to rank nationally for some topic like COVID or Catholicism or puberty or something that there's going to be a lot of competition for, and for which Google wants to make sure the results are authoritative, that not just anybody has a page one result for COVID. They want to make sure that whoever shows up on the first page for a big topic like that is respected by the web as an authority. And how do they measure that? By backlinks. How many people link to your articles? How many people link to your website? Well, nobody's going to link to a local tile installer's website. Backlinks in that case would just be scam backlinks. So they're not even considered in the results. It makes backlinks mean nothing. However, Google likes informational sites. They like to show people to sites that are going to be useful to them. And one way they measure that is by what we call contextual outlinks. How often do you link out to other sites? When someone comes to your site and they don't find the information they want, do you suggest to them other places they could go? Like Wikipedia does. There's tons of link outs on Wikipedia. Well, we don't want anyone to actually leave our website, obviously. We don't want anyone to go to, but we have to have them there for ranking purposes. So what we do is we have these sort of hidden links. You see the tile installation there is just slightly discolored. Those are links to other sites that are authoritative. What we're looking for is sites that either rank really well for the same search term, or sites that end in .org, edu, something authoritative, something that Google can see that we're trying to help people. In truth, we're not. We don't want people to leave our site, but you got to have at least 5 contextual outlinks, link outs to sites that rank well for the same search term you're linking for. And that may include linking out to sites you don't want to link to, like Angie's List, stuff that you really don't want them to go see other people. But again, we keep those hidden. The fourth thing that will help your site rank first page on Google in Los Angeles is your meta tags. Now, meta in Latin means invisible, which in English it means beyond, or is vice versa. It basically, meta tags are things which you don't see on the website, but Google sees it. And so let me explain how that works. If you right click on a website and hit inspect, you're able to see the HTML, the actual stuff that Google sees. And anything on this side, on the kind of ugly side, that isn't visible on the visible side of the site, that's called a meta tag. And there are 3 that are really, really important. And the first one is your title tag. Let me pull up your title tag. You'll notice here every site has a title. Well, it should have a title tag. Quite often the title tag is homepage. Honest to goodness, that's the most common title tag is home. And Google's going to crawl the site, and when they see this left bracket title, right bracket, they're going to look at this to say, okay, what's the site about? Where do I file this site? This is like if you go to the library, there's that number on the front of the book, right? That tells them where to put the book away. That's what the title tag is. And if the title tag's wrong, then Google really isn't going to rank your site, not because they don't like you. They just don't know where to put your site. They don't know what keyword you're really trying to rank for. So the way Google on Google Console explains they want this is by having the keyword first. You can see tile installations first, then there's a vertical score, and then this city. In this case, this is the Encino page. And there's going to be a different page for everywhere I want to rank. With Los Angeles, certainly I'm going to break it down by neighborhood, break it down by city, and Encino is a part of LA. And then after the second vertical score, you got options. You can say "Have a nice day" if you want to. You can say the name of the company. You can say a local phone number, and the local area code is 818, so it makes sense to put the phone number there, just so that people who see the title tag in the Encino results page can, and let me show you that page, can see the 800 number, the 818 number there, and they can say, "Oh, good, this is a local guy." So it's a good idea to have the phone number be the third thing, because that's where the title tag actually shows up in the Google search results. You notice it has the largest font of anything on the page, so the title tag could not be more important. The most important thing, though, is that it doesn't say something dumb like homepage or some kind of random code, and it shouldn't have a commercial message. You'll see some people who use the title tag to say something kind of salesy, like "Let us be your tile installer," and that's just not clean. You want to make sure that your title tag is exactly a match for the keyword that you're trying to rank for. The second meta tag you want to make sure matches, and it needs to match this title tag, is the H1 tag. Now, on the visible part of the page, you can see that there's big fonts and there's little fonts, right? And generally, the larger fonts are tagged in the meta tags, or in the HTML, they're tagged with an H of some kind. It'll say left bracket H1, H2, H3. It'll give you some form of header tag. And then the paragraphs are marked with a P for paragraph. Now, if I go into the HTML again, I'm going to do a Control F here, and I'm going to look for my H1 tag. And you're going to notice in my sites that every one of my pages has one and only one H1 tag. And that's because Google recognizes the importance and the primacy of an H1. The H1 is the royal header. It's the one tag that tells Google, when they crawl the site, just exactly what this site is about. And this site is about tile installation. It's not about "Call us now" or some kind of commercial message. It's not "We're a contractor you can trust." Those are all great things to write on a website, but make those H3s, H4s. If it's an H1 and there should only be one, it should be a perfect match for your keyword. And notice it's not your keyword and location. In this case, it's just tile installation. It's not "tile installation in Encino, California." It needs to be an exact match for the keyword. Recognize that the city is never a keyword. The city is a context for a keyword. In other words, if I was to get in my car and drive from Los Angeles to New York, and every 50 miles I stopped and searched the word "tile installation" on Google, do you know that my results would change every single time I stopped? Because although the keyword wouldn't change, the context would be changing with my IP address. As I move from one cell phone tower to another, I'm actually changing what it means to ask Google, "Show me tile installation." And so we don't treat the city as a keyword. What does that mean? I'm not going to put the city name 20 times on a page. I'm not going to treat it like a keyword. I want to treat it like a context that is what it is. So it's tile installation that I'm going to write a lot about on my page. I'm not going to write a lot about Encino, because Encino, again, is just the context. Now, so you can see that I have one and only one H1 tag. If I have H2 tags, that's great. They can include other admixtures, right? Like LA's most trusted tile installer. So you can have sort of a mix of keywords and mix of other words if it's an H2 or H3. But an H1 should be a clean, clear shot to your keyword and nothing added. Now, the third keyword that matters, there's other keywords I'll show you, but the third one that matters is actually, somebody might argue, not a meta tag at all. It's the slug. It's the part of the domain that comes after the .com. Now, most guys I know in business, they own a bunch of domain names. They'll go down to GoDaddy and they'll register this, that, and the other domain name, hoping that by collecting a bunch of keywords in a .com that they suddenly, maybe one day, will be able to build a website to rank for those. Well, Google doesn't parse the domain to figure out what you do. They parse the slug. That's the pathway, the part after the .com. That's actually what matters. And you can see here that I have a parsable slug, meaning I used hyphens to make clear to Google that we do tile installation in Encino, California. And if I go to any of the other pages here that rank first on Google, Valencia, go to Sherman Oaks, you're going to see a version of that says tile installation Sherman-Oaks-CA. Now, if you have a site where your meta tag, title tag, says tile installation Encino, and you have a slug that says tile installation Encino, and you've got an H1 tag that says tile installation, you're going to rank on the first page in Google. The meta tags are critical. Now, that's not all I do. These images are also called tile installation in Sino. The video, again, was meta tagged tile installation in Sino. Even the graphical elements, the buttons are called tile installation in Sino. I don't think those are as important, but there's no way that Google is going to crawl this site and not recognize that it's perfect. You might have an important phone call and you want to call a friend of yours, and let's say you had a very important message, and you have a friend that you love more than you can imagine. And so it's like the perfect phone call, and you dial their number, but you get one digit wrong. Do you know you're not going to connect to them? It doesn't matter how good your website is. It doesn't matter how good your content is. It doesn't matter how good your workmanship is. If you don't address the website correctly, it's not going to rank. Your title tags must be perfect. So message me. I'm at bob@simple.biz. Send me a link to your website. I'll tell you what tags need fixing. Won't cost you a dime. You just don't expect Google to recognize the brilliance of your work if you won't file it. It's just like a library. If the greatest book ever written, the Bible, is put in there with the wrong Dewey Decimal on there, no one's going to find it in the library. So you got to put the right address on it. Now, last thing, you got to do the geo targeting. Don't get lazy. If you want to rank in an area of 1 million people that's made up of 8 cities and 25 neighborhoods, well, guess what? For each keyword, you're going to have to create 33 landing pages. And if you have 10 keywords, you're going to need 330 landing pages. It's not that hard actually to do that. My system does it kind of automatically for us. Software can take the big heavy lifting out of that. But if you're sitting there on GoDaddy, or you're using Weebly or Squarespace or Wix, and you want to build your own website, great. Those sites can rank fantastic. There's nothing, Google actually came out and said there's nothing wrong with Wix, which is sort of a faint praise way of saying Wix can help you get ranked on the front page. It'll work, but you can't shortcut it. You can't just create one page for Los Angeles for one keyword, or like in the old days, how people would do. They'd build a website, and in the bottom, they'd make a big list of cities they want to rank in. That's not going to rank in those towns. Or it'll have a big list of services you provide, and you're thinking this one page website's going to rank everywhere. You know, don't shortcut it. I like a nice, clean, simple website, but you're going to have one additional page for each keyword and in each location that you want, which means here's an example. Joe's ceramic tile and shower pan service, he's got 6 keywords, and he wants to rank in each of these 8 towns. Well, there's 48 pages here plus the home page. That's not a big deal. Create 48 pages. Each one of them is a way that you can grow your business. So it's worth the effort to put in to build all those pages. Make sure, though, each page has to have those 5 things. What's more, make sure that the 1,000 words of content aren't the same 1,000 words. Google's not going to rank a site well if you're just using the exact same content page after page after page. Again, we're living in an age of AI. There's no reason that you have to write all that content all those times, but it has to be unique on each page. Please like this video. Please recommend this video to someone who is struggling to get their business found online. And please message me at bob@simple.biz and say to me, hey, you haven't done a website about my city yet, or a website about the kind of industry that I'm in. I would love to help your businesses like yours rank well. So reach out to me. I'd love to help. Thanks for watching.